Howdy, everybody. In another edition of Near Workshops, we have Web3Client, essentially an easy tool that allows you to, create interfaces for your ABIs and execute directly from their web app. And they also built some pretty cool tools on Boss. And this isn't just a tool that you can use for Near. It works on a bunch of other chains, but for specifically this demo, they're going to be going over Near. So yeah, take it away.
Thanks, Sean. Hey guys, this is Sam. So we are from Web3Client. First of all, welcome to the workshop. So what is Web3Client? Web3Client is the easiest and most effective way to create, test, and share ABIs in the Web3 world. So this is what this Web3Client is all about. And before I start Web3Client, what is Web3Client, how it does, what it does, all those things, let me talk about the two important people. One is myself, and another is my co-founder Chandru. So we, myself, had a decade of experience in building products across developer tools, B2B solution, and B2C solutions, and even talent solution recently. And I worked for companies like Zoho, Postman, Vogo, and Writer. And right now I'm doing a senior consultant in Leap. Then my co-founder is Chandru. We met during our Vogo days, and our journey goes on. And he has a great track record of delivering high quality products. So we both synced up 4 years back, and we started building together. And that's what Web3Client is. What's our mission? So we are primarily a Web2 based people, developers, and we want to build a tool which is very powerful and simple for Web3 developers to conquer the Web3 world. So we saw that there is a gap there, there is a usability issue, there's a lot of things. So we want to close that. So that's where we started during 2023 Jan. And what's the problem we are seeing right now is in this Web3 world is there's no standard way for testing and sharing the smart contracts. So if we want to share a smart contract, right, what people need to do is they need to load the entire ABIs or a part of it in their code and try executing it. Say if you are a marketing person who's going and talking to a company who wrote a smart contract and they want you to try executing it, it's a hard job right now. It's very hard right now. There are ways. I'm not saying that there is no way, but there are ways. And what we are going to do is we are making sure that Web3Client is the easy and a generic interface for any people to load their ABIs and create a new one or execute without any coding knowledge. People don't need any coding knowledge to do this. They just need to load their ABIs and run it. We also provide a share feature, which is what we are planning to. We are making it as a collaborative, so that you can share this ABIs which you created or imported to your fellow developers, or smart contract developers, or your marketing people also to start, execute, and test it. So this is where it is. And let's get into the workshop. All these times I'm talking about what is ABI. I understand everyone in this group knows what is an ABI because it's a Web3 workshop, related workshop, right? Just to reiterate, what I'm going to do is I'll tell what's an ABI. ABI is application binary interface, and it's a specification that defines the encoding and decoding of data types and started off exposing the invoking methods in smart contract, blah, 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 blah. Ignore, nothing. It allows you to tell that what you need to do to interact with the smart contract. Consider a gate for you to interact with the smart contract. So that is what is an ABI. And what Web3Client provides you is to create an ABI and import an ABI and share an API. These are three main things which we are thinking as a main motto of building Web3Client. And yes, now is the actual thing begins. So there are multi-products I'm listed out here. So what we will do is we will go one by one, and I'll do directly in my Web3Client app itself. So let's jump into it to the demo of each and everything. So let's go and do the create API first. So you need to go to workspace.web3client.app. So this is the URL. And once you go into it, you will see an empty screen, obviously, if you never used it. There's a good button called create new API. Click on it. So it will ask you information for you, the ABI name. I'm going to take the best in the near, which is the near social. So I'm going to take near social mainnet. I got some chat. Okay, thanks. Thanks, Sean. Mainnet, and I'm going to call the contract ID. For that, I'm going to near social documentation. So it says mainnet is social.near. I'm going to say social.near. And what is the network I'm going to call is, we are supporting a lot of networks and mostly in EVM. And we are supporting both testnet and mainnet in near. So submitted, it just creates an ABI. So now I'm going to add the methods. Methods are nothing but the interfaces, which I want to interact with an ABI. So let me go to social DB and see that like what are the methods it's available. There's a method called get API, which is available. So what I'm going to do is, it's a view method, and I'm going to do get. I'll come later to this description, all those things. And what I need to do is I need to put a JSON, and what it is accepting, it's accepting keys. It's accepting keys and some array of values. So let me go here and say keys. And instead of that, I already have few information copied. I'll just do this here. Cool. Done. I'm actually interacting with a smart contract. That smart contract is social.near, which is a near mainnet, and I'm seeing all the information over here. We can even double check it using our near social. Let me go directly to this page, which is my Web3 client page. This is the information, and I'm getting it is directly over here. So yes, this is how you created ABI. So I'm going to save it. Now this ABI is created and I can use it anytime whenever I want it. This is one feature. Now let's go to the next feature of import ABI. Good, Samuel, like I already have a contract. So why I need to create everything? So this is a good question people usually ask. So there is another thing which we have is called import by contract ID for near, like we supported it. So I'm going to call this ABI name as like near social again, mainnet import. The contract ID is, we know it's social.near, and it's in near mainnet submitted. It takes some time to fetch it from the RPC. It imports it for you, and voila, I have all the interface methods which I have it. We are definitely working on the data types. I mean, like state mutability, whether it's a payable or view, and like what is your input parameters, output parameters. We are working on it. We're trying to figure out a way to get that also from the chain. But right now, like you are one step ahead, right? Like you got the entire interface for your smart contract. So here it is like social.near. It works just like the same. Like I'll go here and do JSON, and I'll do like keys. I copy paste this information and send it. Works as usual. Voila. Not only the view, we are also like supporting other payable methods also, which I come to it later. Cool. Import. We saw the import feature. Now let's go and see the share API feature. So here the powerful of Web3Client comes into play. So what I will do is there is a sweet button called like share API over here, multiple places I actually like put it so that like people will see that. I'm going to click it. It generates a link for me, copies this link. All I need to do is I'm opening, consider like this is a new person. Everyone can do it actually. Like I can put it over here also. I paste it here, enter. Voila. So it imports the entire API for me over here. And if you see it, even the change I did came here. Like I edited this to get, previously it was any, right? It came. You're one step ahead. You directly started working on this particular contract all by yourself. You don't need to like wait for people to like provide you all those like coding knowledge to do it. Like you just import it and it works as by itself. So this is the share feature, which is very powerful, and like we are working on like more cool things on top of it. Right now, like it's simple share feature, and yes. The next thing is auto-generated docs. I was almost tempted to put it like AI-generated docs, but we are not there yet. We are planning to go ahead on AI-generated docs. Like you don't need to generate docs for your smart contract hereafter. Like once you onboard to a Web3 client. Right now it is auto-generated docs, like which means like what will happen is like once you start doing all these, right, it will generate docs for you. It's an MD format. Say for example, I'm going to type like sample. It's a sample near doc, and see here it's coming in here. And this method is a view method and a get. So this is used to get the social DB keys. So I'm just typing it and it generates over here. It's a markdown format. It has all the information. We are actually like planning to import, support templates, lot of things. Right now, like it's very basic, and we are also planning to generate this using some AI models or at least ChatGPT APIs or something. So you can directly copy it, and let me show you. You can put on any of your markdown, and you can literally see uh, anyone can read this. It's a social mainnet import contract name is this, contract address, RPC URL. Everything will be there, like what is the method and like what is the state mutability input parameters, JSON, all those things. We are working on like multi other things like saving this as a example response so that like it will be reflected in your documentation. So many things like it's open-ended right now for us. So this is what is like the documentation generation, and you can see it like the link which I provided here, right? Like the link which I provided, right? It also has everything by itself. You don't need to like worry on it. Like everything, like it's auto synced, so you don't need to worry on all those things. Yep, this is on auto-generated docs. Now there is another feature called switch contract. Uh, so usually what will happen is like in multi-chain environment, take in Ethereum side, like there are EVM, there are hundreds of chains, right? Like you would often like put a same contract in like different places. On near contracts, the same thing is would be like you'll be having a contract in testnet and also would be in like mainnet. You don't need to create like two different documentation, two different ABIs, all those things, right? So that's where like we have a feature called switch contract. So what you can do is like you can add a contract over here. So I'm going to add the near testnet and contract address. I'll go to social DB and see like what is the contract address it has in the testnet. E1 social e dot testnet. I'll go over here, select as testnet. So many testnet supporting near testnet. The market as active for now because I'm going to run it directly on this. And I'm going to send it. Oh wait, before sending it, I need to change this guy. This guy name is testnet here. So send or we just sent into a different uh, chain altogether, contract altogether. And that's where this is powerful. I can switch it like very easily. Send. Oh, here it is near. That's all. So this is the switch contract feature. It's very powerful in the EVM side. And I feel like it is powerful in the near also, like by having your local RPC also can be added here. Like you can see, like you can add your custom RPC, all those things over here. So by that way, like you can connect to your own RPC network also, not supported by like direct near also, instead of direct near testnet and mainnet. So that is also possible over here. And right now I don't have any RPC, that's why I didn't add it. But you can add like custom RPC as well, and you can proceed with that. That is on switch contract. Wire connection, yes, we are supporting wire connection by default. What I will do is I'll do some set method for that. It's a payable, and I like this bulk edit feature, guys. One of our user asked it. So I'll do this set. I'm going to do workshop demo near, and I'm going to set it. Oh, right now I connected Meter, right? So Meter wallet, it's a great wallet, by the way. I'm using it personally. And it opens us and you can do the transaction also. By this way, like you do any kind of like transactions, like payable also in this. It won't give the response. Obviously, like there are some issues in this. We are fixing it, but it changes. Like let me show it over here. Previously, it is Web3 client. Uh, if I refresh it, it'll change to workshop demo here. So that is what like I changed it over here. Workshop demo here. That is the name I kept it here. Okay, change back it otherwise like I'll forget for sure. This I did many times. Approvals. That's all. So all these things, if you guys saw it, like I never wrote so much of code. All these things like is spent on directly, and I'm seriously interacting with one of the powerful smart contract in here. So let me go to the next feature, which is the history. Yes, this is powerful. Like next one. So we have a small button over here, like where you can go and like see like what are the things which I did previously, and like I can just play around it, get run as itself. So it's a wrong thing which I did. So that's why, yeah. So it stores the history. We have a limitation as well. So it stores for like around like 100 to 200 because it's storing in your local. Nothing is synced to any of server or anything. It's just local. So we have like 100 plus. I think like right now like we're supporting 500. It supports 500 of history. So that is one thing. Multiple tabs. Yes, obviously, like people like tabs, right? Like you can see like a lot of tabs. I can switch between tabs and like do different stuff parallelly and like goes on. So multiple tabs we are supporting right from the scratch. This is what. So yeah, guys, like this is how like you need to interact with the smart contract using Web3 client, and these are the features which we are supporting. And next, this is the biggest thing which I want to talk about and why we are here for this NearBoss component. So what we did is like me and my co-founder had a talk one day, and like I asked him like, hey man, like go and explore NearBoss and like write a component. And I gave him an example saying like put just the it makes sure that like you have the connection and all those things. You just need to call our like executor which we are having it, and like it works by itself. And that too, like the one executor he founded, the one executor is already there in NearBoss, and it took him like half a day to implement it. So let me go inside that and demo a bit on it. So if you go to Web3 client, that is Web3Client.near, and go to widgets, there'll be a widget over here. And if you go here, it's a very simple widget for you to interact with any contract in here right now. And so let me go and do it. I'm going to do a get, and the thing is social.near. I will keep on saying social.near guys for some time. And I'll take this get and put it. So now it's a view method, obviously, and I'll do a view.
I think you put the method where the contract name should be.
Oh, thank you so much, Short. I was wondering why it is not working. Voila, got it. And I'll tell you guys, like this took like half a day for my co-founder to work it. Obviously, he's a great dev, but still I'm saying that. So you can do anything over here. Like we can do a set, and I'm going to do the same thing. Right now the name is table. Oh, I can't do it because this is webclient.near. I can't set webclient.near name. So I'm going to do Samuel Raja.near, which our profile name is Samuel Raja space near. And I can do a deposit. I think it's empty gas. I don't know the exact value. Let me copy it from Web3Client. It's just also a feature, by the way. Like you can change the deposit and gas over here. I don't know whether it will go through. I never did it. So it takes me to the palette and approves. Come back. I did what? Yeah, Samuel Rajat here. You can see. So it's a very simple widget. Like we make sure that like anyone can go and interact with any smart contract in NearBoss itself directly. And yeah, that's the power of NearBoss over here, and how Web3 client put a component over there. Coming soon. There are lots of in the agenda right now. So if you in the NearBoss specifically, I'll talk more on NearBoss. Like what are things that we are planning to come do it in NearBoss is we are planning to do the import any smart contract and execute methods directly. So the powerful feature which I showed it on Web3Client, right? We are planning to move you there. Like you can import any smart contract instead of like directly you creating it, seeing the documentation. Like you just input a smart contract, it will show all the methods execute directly just like you saw it in Web3Client. Once we make sure that like we solve all these use cases of NA is not there, I mean the method name and like what is the input parameter, output parameter type, all those things. Once we solved it, like we are planning to move it into the near social as well. That is the next step like which you're planning. We are also planning to compile near smart contracts. We are halfway on it. Like we started doing using the near SDK.js, and we are planning to go with Rust and Solidity as well. Once we are done it, like we'll move that to NearBoss also as a component, and thereby like you can directly like write a smart contract and compile and like deploy it. So that is the whole idea. Next thing is like very interesting, which came to my mind. Like I'm not sure like whether I will like go towards that or not. Is to store the documentation of your smart contract in NearBoss. So what will happen is like this enables the NearBoss to be the uh, center place for everyone to share their smart contracts documentation. What will happen like the contract will reside in their own chain, like maybe EVM, maybe Cosmos or any chain, and but the contracts, the contract creation, everything will happen in NearBoss. The documentation will be there in NearBoss. I'll be storing the whole documentation in NearBoss and rendering it in NearBoss. So that is a bigger dream I'm thinking going towards, and I don't know like whether I will go towards that or not. So that is also there in the coming soon. I'm also open for a lot of suggestions from other people as well. Yeah, cool. This is on that.
Yeah, and
Yep, gotcha.
no, continue with the rest of the slides. We'll save the questions for the end.
Cool. So our timeline was something like this. So we started the MVP in Q1 2023. We finished the MVP. We supported all the websites. It was damn easy for us. There was Mr.js. We used it and like make sure like it is there. We started creating share and include features on top of it, ability to switch contracts easily, all those features we created. In Q2, we started looking at Near also. So we supported Near in like a record time of like uh, 40 days, I think, or 40 days. We are working on AI-driven documentation. We are working on near contract readers and compilers in Q2. And in Q3, like we are planning to go stretch a bit on different chains as well in Cosmos and Solidity smart contract compilation, cloud synchronization, multi-language code generation. Like right now, like if you see, right, there is a feature there which I never talked about, which we are planning to go. Here, like there will be like a code snippet which will come if you are in EVM. When you click it, it will show an Ether.js code, like you copy it and put it there and it will work. You're planning to get it for Near and like for all the other chains as well. When you copy it, you will have a code on your own preferred language. Python will use the library which is being used for Python, all those things, and generates a code. You just copy paste it, it will work for your thing also. So that's the bigger thing which we are working on. They're also planning to do contracts gallery, where like right now the problem is like I need to go to the specific DApp contract and need to see like what's the documentation, all those things. I don't know whether this contract is legal or like I mean whether this is a scam contract, all those bagara things. A contract gallery is very hard to build, I know, and it's a long shot, but we will definitely reach a point like where we will create a contracts gallery for people to come and search and like just start using it by yourself. So this is where right now where timeline resides, and yeah, there's the context. That's it from my side. Any questions, guys, please?
Yeah, I mean, I love that you have so much going on in Boss, and that's like that's absolutely amazing. Like documentation directly on there, and even additional support. And the widget here. I had some questions just earlier on. Just on like just for people who may not like have like Web3 development experience. Like in the beginning, when you if you go back to like when you actually generated the contract from an existing contract, like why and then also from when you imported a contract and shared it and like deactivated like a function, like why would you do that? And why wouldn't you just like share all the functions, or like why would you create an ABI from scratch? If you can kind of explain that.
Okay, instead of like just sharing the contract ID, why I shared this information, this link, correct?
Well, like, what I think you like removed one of the functions and then shared it. So can you kind of explain kind of like a use case for doing that, or like, yeah, removing certain functions and then sharing it there?
Okay, I think I haven't removed it. Like what I did is like previous when I imported it, so the state mutability, all those information was not added. So I added this because like this is what not there and then shared it. And that's the use case. There's no use case around it. Like there's no intention of like removing it. The advantage which you will get like on top of sharing this link instead of your smart contract ID is like you'll get the documentation directly from the developers.
But in theory, you could like share this ABI with like less functions and less method by pressing like the trash button.
Yeah, definitely you can. You can definitely you can delete it and like then share it also. Like that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, and then like in the beginning when you like you were just creating a contract ID, you use social.near, but then you were constructing it directly from the docs. So like in when someone's on this mode, would they be putting a contract ID for an existing contract? Like, can you explain like kind of like the motivation behind the create ABI flow?
Okay, fine. So the create API flow is like majorly for like people like who don't know like what this contract is. This is for like it's not like we created for the EVM. So most of the EVMs, the ABIs are like not mandatory and like it will be available for only to contracts which is verified, like for us to pull it. So the create API helps you to like create it from the scratch, or if you're a developer, you're creating a contract right now, and you can parallelly like create the API documentation for it. So that is the motivation of like having a create API.
But in the near case, you can just import the contract ID and there's no need for verification. It just automatically populates the methods.
Correct. So what I am doing it in near cases, like I'm getting the whole contract and recompiling it. I mean, like decompile it using the WASM and like then importing it, parsing and importing it. Whereas for the EVM case, like it is not.
Awesome. Those are most questions I have. Any other questions in the audience? If you want to type it in the chat or speak, or maybe any feature suggestions. I know a lot of people here are building on Boss as well, and a lot of people are interested in even like multi-chain widgets on Boss. Any recommendations or anything that they would like to see, maybe to speed up development? One thing that I think I mentioned to you before that maybe kind of a good substitute to a contract gallery is like the ability to actually like deploy these ABI interfaces directly as widgets, and then maybe a way like a tagging system that we can view kind of like these widgets with different ABI interfaces deployed through Web3Client. I think that would be really cool because a lot of us are spending like a lot of like bandwidth like actually like going in and creating front end interfaces for like each function, and then we could just focus on like making the UI UX better. So that'd be really cool if you did that. But if there are no other questions, yeah, we can just head on out. All the links, I'll put this on YouTube. All the links will be available in the description. Oh, okay, James got a question. If you want
Well,
to.
first of all, just wanted to say thank you and really excited to try this out more and wondering what you recommend for somebody who's just getting started and learning and kind of like the hello world of your platform. I know this workshop is already such a great start, but what would you suggest somebody does if they just watch this video?
Yes. So for someone like who's starting, like first I would recommend them to like take any contract which has a great documentation. and like try it out in Web3 client, and then like for like complex stuff, like slowly like go towards some contracts like which doesn't have good documentation, just copy it and like paste it here, like and like run it and like play around with it. So that is how like I suggest for people.
Cool. Thank you.
And I'll tell you guys, like this is very easy. Like just go to social DB. Like it is very simple. Like there is a get and a set. That itself like will show you like lot of things.
And also like outside of the documentation, like say I had like a contract and I did not know what the JSON params are. Is there a way to like figure that out within Web3 client, or like what would you do in a case with that? Like, okay, you see a contract that's like live and you don't
Yes.
you just don't know how to interact with it. How do you go about that?
Yes. That is the feature which we are right now working on, short, and we are stuck at some places. What we are planning to do is, and like we do that, like the contracts which is being like put it on near chains, they don't have those informations. Only a successful operation which happened, that tells you like what is the dearest contender for like input params, right? So we are planning to like use an API from NearBoss that is actually providing that information for us, the latest successful interaction to a method, and this is the input parameters which is being used. And we are planning to use it. And when you click on this, right now it is showing, it doesn't know like whether it is a view or a payable method. It doesn't know like what the input param. All those things that will be autofilled. So we'll be having a button sooner, like maybe a week or two, and when you click it, it will autofill for you.
Yeah, that's huge because we've been just like doing transactions and looking at the confirmation screen and like copying and pasting that over. So that would save a lot of time. Glad you guys are already on it. Like fire. Like I'm excited.
Yeah, like the only concern which we are facing right now with NearBoss is it's actually like rate limiting us. So we're thinking out like how we can do that, because it's an indexer job. An indexer needs to index this information. So we're thinking out loud like how to do this.
Awesome. And I would love to, if you need any support on that side, or can also help with that. But any other questions, or is that it? All right, awesome. No, that was a lot of alpha, a lot of tooling, a lot of roadmap. I'm very excited, and yeah, thanks for coming out. Yeah.
Thanks guys. Thanks very much.